Hello everyone and welcome back to Learn with Nasir and Fatma. So in this video I'm going to share with you the entire process of applying for the work visa of Turkey, and I'm going to share with you the documents that you are going to need and the offices that you are going to need to visit. I'm going to tell you about the processing fees as well as the processing time of obtaining the work visa of Turkey, and towards the end of this video I am going to share the one most crucial step that if you do not complete, then even if you have gotten the approved work visa on your passport, you will not be able to travel to Turkey on your work visa. So the first and foremost question that you need to be asking yourself in order to get the work visa of Turkey is that who is actually eligible to apply for the work visa of Turkey? And the answer to that question is that you can only apply for the work visa of Turkey if you have gotten a job offer from a company inside of Turkey, from a registered known company from inside of Turkey. And if you do not have a job offer, it means that you cannot simply apply for the work visa of Turkey. Now, many of you may know that I am doing my PhD here in Turkey. So how come I applied for a work visa? And the answer to that question, the long answer I am going to explain in a separate video, but the short answer to that question is that I am doing my PhD here in Turkey on a Marie Curie funded project, and these projects are funded by European Union, and under each project there are lots of industrial partners as well as research institutions. Under these projects they hire you as what they call the early stage researchers, also known as ESRs, and so you are hired as a researcher and not a student, and hence you need to apply for a work visa and not a student visa. I will be explaining more details about what Marie Curie projects are in a separate video, but for now the answer to the question of who can apply for the work visa of Turkey is that the one who gets a job offer from a company inside of Turkey. Now the next big question is, how can you obtain the work visa of Turkey given that you have gotten a job offer from there? So the process is going to start with your employer. The first and foremost step is that your employer is going to initiate the work visa application from here in Turkey with the Ministry of Family, Labor and Social Services, and for that they are just going to ask you to send them your passport size photographs, the copy of your passport and degrees, and your character certificate, which is also called as the police certificate in Pakistan. So once you send your employer these documents, they are going to initiate the application process on your behalf, and after 2 to 3 weeks they are going to inform you that okay, they have done the initial process here and now you can go to your embassy in your country and start the application process at your end. At the point when your employer is going to share with you that you can initiate the application process at your end, they are also going to share with you some important documents which you are going to use in your visa application process, and those documents include the employment letter and the company documents and an application letter which the company has prepared for you, saying that you are going to work with them and the embassy should give you a visa. Now, in Pakistan, you cannot directly go to the embassy, and there are certain visa application centers that you need to go to and start your visa application process. And I went to Anatolia Travel Services, which was recommended to me actually by my employer here. So as a first step, you are going to go to their office, the Anatolia Travel Services or any other visa application center, and you are going to initiate your visa application process there and not at the embassy. Now to start your application, you are going to need a long list of documents, and I'm just going to use the list provided by the Anatolia Travel Services to show you which documents you are going to need. So first of all, there are some tourism purpose documents which are actually the common documents which all visa applications need, and these documents are, first of all, visa application form. So in my case, the visa application form was filled by my employer themselves, and they sent me the completely filled visa application form which I took with me to the Anatolia Travel Services. But in your case, your employer may not have filled it for you, so you will have to fill it yourself using the online portal of the Turkish embassy, or you can simply go to the visa application center and they will fill out the form for you. Next, 2 photographs, visa interview form. This form is going to be provided to you by the center. Request letter, cover letter, which you are going to write. In this letter, you are just going to write that okay, you are applying for the work visa and you have gotten a job offer. Then your passport, travel health insurance, So in case of work visa, you are not going to need the travel health insurance. It is covered by your employer. But in my case, for example, I had to apply for the visa of my family as well later. So I took this travel health insurance. And here, actually, you should remember that if you are applying for a work visa, then you cannot apply and you also want to take your family with you later, then you should keep in mind that you cannot apply for the visa of your family until you get your own work visa approved. So next, your polio vaccination certificate, and then there is copy of the flight reservation and hotel reservation. So at this stage, you do not actually need to buy the tickets. You just need to book them and show the reservation here for the application purposes. The next document that you are going to need is the updated family registration certificate or marriage registration certificate. And these are actually required even if you are an individual applicant, even if you are not applying for your family's visas. Even then, you are going to need them, and I provided these documents as well. So there are a couple of other documents which you are going to need. For example, the employment certificate from your current employer along with your salary slips from the last 3 months and your taxpayer certificate as well as your bank account maintenance certificate along with your bank statements from the last 3 months. Now these are all the common documents which you are going to need. But other than these, for the work purpose, you are going to need 3 special documents, and these are the documents which you are going to need specifically when you are applying for the work visa. And one of those documents is the employment contract, which contains employment duration and title clearly. Then there is a request letter along with the title of the employee by the employer company from Turkey. And you are going to need valid police certificate which is attested by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Pakistan. So in my case, the employer asked for this character certificate previously as well, and when I was preparing for the documents at my end as well, I needed this certificate again. So but this time it actually needed to be attested from MOFA, and the Anatolia Travel Services did not accept it without the attestation. So you will need to attest it. You will need to get it attested from MOFA. Okay, so these are all the documents that you are going to need at this stage for applying for your work visa. And once you have completed your folder, you are going to submit that folder at the Anatolia Travel Services and you are going to pay the fees. So next, let's talk about the fees. The fees for work visa is actually divided into 2 parts. The first part is what you are going to pay right now when you are submitting your documents. And this part of the fees is the same for all kinds of visas, be it student visa or tourist visa or work visa. And actually for student or tourist visa, this is the only fees which you are going to pay. But for work visa, there is going to be an additional fees which will come later, and I'm going to tell you about it just very soon. But at this stage, the first part of the fees consists of the following. It has 10,000 PKR as the embassy fees, 6,400 PKR service charges of Anatolia Travel Services, and if you are going to buy a travel health insurance, it is going to cost you between 3,000 to 7,000 PKR depending on which kind of travel health insurance you are buying and for which duration you are buying it. If you are applying for the work visa, then you do not need a travel health insurance because your health insurance is going to be covered by the employer in Turkey. But since I was going to apply for the visas of my family as well later, so I bought the travel health insurance for them at this stage, and it cost me around 7,000 Pakistani rupees. So my total at this stage went to around 24 to 25,000 PKR, which I paid at this stage when I was submitting my documents to Anatolia Travel Services. Now, when you submit the documents and pay your fees, next is the processing time. So the visa processing time for work visa is actually longer than student visa or tourist visa. In case of student visa or tourist visa, the visa application center is going to call you after 2 weeks, and you are going to go there and you are going to collect your passport on which there will be your visa stamp. But in case of work visa, the process gets a little bit different, and I think I can best explain it by sharing my own experience. So after 2 weeks of my application, I got a call from the Anatolia Travel Services, and they said that, okay, you can come and collect your passport. And I asked them, is there a visa stamp there or not? And they said that we cannot tell you right now, you just need to come and collect your passport. And when I visited their office, they gave me my passport, and on it was a stamp from the embassy that your visa application is still in process and it will take further 6 weeks. and we will let you know at the end of 6 weeks if your process is approved, and in which case you can come to the embassy directly with that additional second part of the fees, and you can collect your visa. So at this stage, the visa application center went out of the equation, and I was put into this wait, and I stayed in touch with my employer during this time, who could actually track my application from their system here, from the Turkish ministry's application portal here in Turkey. So they kept me informed, and since there was corona going on, so there were some documents which I needed to sign on behalf of the Turkish government, that I will, for example, stay in a 14-day quarantine, or let's say that I will maintain my safe distance, those kind of things. So if the embassy or the ministry requires any kind of thing from you, they are going to communicate to the employer, and they will inform you if there is something going on. So after 6 weeks, actually, I got informed from my employer that my application has been completed and I can go to the embassy and collect my visa. Uh, I contacted the embassy, Turkish embassy in Islamabad, and I emailed them, and they emailed me back with an appointment date and time, and they asked me to bring that second part of the fees, which is 51,000 Pakistani rupees. And you should keep in mind that based on your employer, this fees might get reimbursed, but you must keep in mind that this is a fees that you need to pay to the embassy when you are going to collect your work visa. So I went there. So this time I went to the embassy, and keep in mind that you actually do not need to visit the embassy if you are applying for a tourist or student visa. You will just get it directly from the visa application center. But in case of your work visa, you actually need to visit the embassy for that final stamp, for that final visa stamp. And so I went there with my passport, and they took it and they just stamped it with the work visa, and they said, okay, this is done. And I paid the 51,000 Pakistani rupees to them directly, and I went home. So now that everything is done and you are actually going to buy your tickets, there is one last thing that still remains, which I told you that this is the last step which you need to complete, and without which you cannot actually travel. And that last step is getting the protector stamp from the Pakistani government. And there is an office for that. Its name is its name is Bureau of Immigration and Overseas Employment, and its offices are located throughout the country in big cities, and you need to go to one of these offices, and there are certain documents required, and I'm going to share the link of this website in the description down below. It's a government office. You need to go there, and it's basically actually providing you a safety and insurance from the government of Pakistan, that if something bad happens to you working outside of Pakistan, then the government of Pakistan is going to cover for you and is providing you a kind of insurance. So nobody is going to tell you about this stamp part, about this protector stamp part. Nobody told me, and I also got to know of it at the 11th hour, and I had bought my plane ticket. And it's going to be difficult if you buy the plane ticket and you are at the airport and you haven't gotten this stamp, this protector stamp, and you have gotten a work visa. They are just not going to let you through, and it's going to be a very difficult time for you if you miss this. So I found out the hard way, and I am just sharing it with you. And this is something that I think if you know somebody who has gotten a work visa for any country outside of Pakistan and he is going there, just ask them that, have you gotten the protector stamp from the government of Pakistan yet or not? If you haven't gotten it, the airport people will not let you through and will not let you leave the country. So yes, that's it. Once you have gotten that final protector stamp on your visa, you can travel. And yeah, that's it. That was my entire story of getting the work visa of Turkey, and I wish you best of luck. If any of you gets a job offer from Turkey, I hope that the process of getting the work visa becomes easier for you after watching this video. If there is anything else that you would like to ask me regarding applying for the work visa of Turkey, you can ask all your questions in the comments section below, and I would try to answer them. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching and see you guys in the next one. Take care.